From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
So let me call to order the 2 p.m. session of the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors, today being November 12th. First item's roll call.
Supervisor Peters. Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Thank you. The next item is a report on actions taken in closed session.
Good afternoon. This morning in closed session, you met on items 30, 31, and 32, and there is no reportable action.
We also had a question from the morning session by Supervisor Flores regarding Bill 969. Is that right?
Correct. Assembly Bill 969.
Yep.
As soon as I started looking into it, I remembered that at one point I knew a bit more about this. In kind of mid-2023, a Northern California county passed an ordinance that required only hand counting and terminated the contract with Dominion, which was the voting machine system that Northern California county used. In response to that, the California legislature passed Assembly Bill 969, which then added and amended a number of California election code statute sections. And what the statute says, in very much of a shorthand, is that local election officials are prohibited from performing only a manual count or a hand counting of ballots in an election, a general election where there are more than 1,000 registered voters, or if it's a special election, if there are more than 5,000 registered voters. And then the second part of the bill requires or mandates that should a county cancel or terminate its contract with a certified voting machine company such as Dominion, that it cannot do that unless there is already a contract in place with a different company. So the bill is directly in response to action that another county took.
A different company that is certified?
Yes, has to be a certified
Are they certified
company.
with the state? Or
Yes.
They are.
Yeah. And so it was enacted as urgency legislation, meaning that it took effect immediately because of the upcoming election that was, I think it took effect prior to the March primaries. So that this one county couldn't have only hand counting.
Okay, very helpful, thank you.
What prompted us to ask you about that was the cease and desist letter we had received, and that subject has been referred to you and your office for a closed session discussion for the board.
That's correct.
Do I have that right? Okay, thank you. All right, that takes us to the consent.
Chairman, before we move on, can I add a couple things to that?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it punched in here.
No problem. I just wanted to point out that this is another example of legislation that's gone through without the county being aware of it or getting a chance to weigh in on it. The county, other groups had weighed in on it. The county, the County Association, or excuse me, California Association of Clerks weighed in on it in March of last year. And by August of last year, over 40 people had commented in opposition and over a dozen in support. And so this is just another example of what I brought up with some of our efforts in engaging at the state and federal level. This is something that we should have been aware of, that we should have been able to take a position on if the board decided to, or at least had that option. So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention.
Thank you.
Noted. Okay, that takes us to the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or C above the item number considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We'll act on those all in one motion unless somebody here would like to ask a question or ask for separate consideration of any of those items. Those items being, starting on page 2 of the afternoon agenda, items 3 and 4. On to page 3, all the items 5 through 11. On page 4, all the items 12 through 18. On to page 5, all the items 19 through 25. We will get to public statements after this, and then board member announcements and reports. But is there anyone here that wants to make a comment on any of the items I just mentioned? Seeing none, come back to the board.
Motion on consent.
Thank you.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That takes us back to the top of page 2, item 1, public presentations, which is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda but under the jurisdiction of the board. Mr. Robinson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. Thank you, Chairman Coach.
You bet.
I did overhear a bit of the discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jim Robinson, Robinson. Sorry about that. I did overhear a little bit of the palaver that Supervisor Perez had mentioned, wondering about the urgency of things. If you read the statute with regards to AB 969, it said this act is an urgency statute necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, or safety within the meaning of Article 4 of the California Constitution. An emergency decree on something of this nature, I believe, legally doesn't have any standing as a real emergency. All right, and with regards to AB 969, while it was in fact brought about and brought to the attention of the state by Shasta County, all right, the work itself was already into going ahead and see to it that any county had the right, had the actual jurisdiction to go ahead and determine exactly how they were going to conduct their elections. As lesser magistrates, the ROV, the registrar of voters, is a lesser magistrate. All of you are lesser magistrates. You can, in fact, if you're standing on constitutional ground, refuse any sort of an edict that comes down out of the capital of this particular state. So this is what this particular cease and desist order went to. And again, just a reminder, you went over this morning with regards to the. Lost my train of thought, excuse me. This morning with regards to the conflict between the HAVA Act and AB 969, because you've got federal law and California law that are in conflict with each other. I would like to ask a question on a slightly different matter. This cease and desist order was delivered here to the Kern County Board of Supervisors at their desk on the fifth floor, I think it was, on the 15th of October. When one of the Kern Citizens for Freedom people were in here and asked about it on the 22nd during the morning session, I believe the response was that none of you had seen the cease and desist order, which had been delivered a week prior. And there was something very deliberate about that. So the question I have is, what is the chain of custody with regards to this? Because
I think that's on us. I think that's, I'll speak for myself. I think that was my fault. I think it was delivered to my office with a whole bunch of other stuff that I just hadn't gotten through yet.
Okay, well, the
So
response.
I don't think it was the fault of our clerk or anybody working for us. It was my own fault.
All right, my understanding, I was not here, so this is conjecture, but I understand that all of the supervisors who were here said that they had not seen or reviewed this. And I was kind of curious about that. And this was read at the morning session today, and I was wondering, was this the first time that the supervisors actually had taken a look at this? It was
No,
not?
I'm speaking for myself again. I had seen it after I said I hadn't seen it yet. I went through my mail and there it was.
Okay.
So I saw it back on on or around the 22nd.
Okay, just wondering about that particular chain of custody there. I was hoping that had gotten there a little bit sooner, because I took this very seriously when I delivered it.
Understood.
And I hope that you guys are gonna take it seriously too. And this is in fact a blatant conflict between state and federal election law.
We have agendized it, or it will be agendized for a closed session discussion because we took it as a legal threat, which is, we should, and that's fine. So that gives us the opportunity to talk about it with our attorney.
Gentlemen, madam, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. I know we went over there a little bit. Any other public statements this morning or this afternoon, this evening, wherever we are? Seeing none, on to item 2, board member announcements and reports. Seeing none, I have a very brief statement to make, and that is, it was item 19 that we just approved, which due to the setback law by the state of California, the unintended consequence of that is that the people in Derby Acres are going to lose their park. I'm sure that wasn't the intention of the law, but the state of California didn't stop to think about it either. And I think there are going to be more of these types of situations happening, maybe not just like this, but it's going to impact development of different kinds going forward, and we need to be careful of that. I'll have more to say about that later, but it's unfortunate that this happened. I'm sorry for the people in Derby Acres, but it was not the fault of Berry Petroleum. Thank you. Sorry, just need a motion to adjourn to, what is the date? December 3rd, 2024 at 9 a.m.
So moved.
Thank you. Without objection, we're adjourned.
Thank you.